Now we have the game underway already. It's Australian Futsal Coaches now in control of the ball, slowly building up momentum. Come in the middle park, they try to look to keep the game more on a two pivot and a target man up front. Taken back by a player playing in Europe outdoor associative football. Well, he's taken down by the number 10. A shot here from Australia, close, but not quite. And that calls for a foul actually from Charlie. Drives it low. Jeffrey Bulle couldn't get into the end of it. And Australia out of pressure, build up play from the back. Ethan to Wade Giovinali. Here's one of the this player, the number 6. Giovinali, Wade, and also good mates again. Solomon Islands builds a play on their own half. Ethan, the goal scorer, picks up play. Alvin Ho now brings it up. Back to Jeffrey Bulle, couldn't do so. Giovinali, Wade builds a play. Goes past Alvin, the Solomon Islands Kurkuru. But it wasn't successful as there was no proper court. But now Solomon Islands have everything that needs to have for a international feature. And just like that, to keep their team as fresh as possible. This is the first match out of the 3 matches here, made possible by the Australian government through the Pacific Aus Sport. Australia in the just outside their own area tries to put more pressure on the Solomon, who's been excellent playing as a fixer. Probably in this game he will be playing more on the wing. Clifford Misitana, the player from Matax, one of the local renowned futsal club here in the Solomon Islands. Again, builds up play is Misitana, tries to call for a pass back there. So the rules on the futsal is quite basic. If we started from the goalkeeper, we have to get the ball out of the halfway before we can go back to the goalkeeper or get a touch from the opponent to enable play. Charlie Oten tries to 10-1, couldn't do so, defends well. Jamie deep with the ball now, finds Rogan again. Oh, good chip here by Guerrero Jordan. Anthony enjoying one of our, if not the only first actual international feature here in the Solomon Islands. So history tonight. And we're looking forward to the next 2 matches as well. But so far, if you just tuned in, it's Australia Futsal Roos leading 1-0. We're approximately 5 minutes, approaching 5 minutes. A kick in just almost to the corner line. And they build play from the back. They're looking to have still keep the 2 pivots and 2 target man probably in the way. Tries to change to a static game. So far, this is working well for them. They're going to keep it and try to move the ball into the other half. Again, Alvin Ho picks up play, goes past her, and picked up by Jordan Guerrero, who's not the tallest player on the court, but very physical, this player, and got quite some good sets of skills this play here. Again, tried to go past Alvin Ho, couldn't do so. The local fans here so far loving the action here. Elisman of Matax tries to close down the Australian defense here. On Alvin Ho picks up play and taken carefully by Jamie. Finds Geoff. Rose is a powerhouse in the Asian futsal setup. And so Solomon Islands, the former reigning champions of the Pacific, losing to the futsal white in the previous or the latest futsal World Cup qualifiers. Australia again builds a play. Misitana tries to hold up play, couldn't do so. Now he's got the ball here. Elismana or Sammy on the occasion tries to close him down. A ball back here, Australia again, shot and a good block. What a night for Dixon Cadau, the interim coach, taking back what is considered as a lost project here at Kurkuru. Their dominance overclouded by the futsal whites. So it's like a new breed, and I spoke of someone's who's very tall, this player, and quite fragile as well. Not in a bad sense, but in a more agile way, I would express. Australia building a play from the back, more confident, I would say. Getting the feel to it. Solomon Islands tried to steal the ball. Rafael tries to check for the referee. And so the local fans here are glued to this match here, and they know what to expect. Now Raf, Sami plays it to Alvin Ho, tries to block, go for a shot here. Now Australia through the skipper. Anton Talu comes up way up. Supporters anticipating and in intense support for their local national team, Solomon Islands Kurkuru. A shot coming in from the going to play tomorrow. He's also part of the Solomon Warriors outdoor or associated football team, the Solomon Islands Kurkuru team. Australia Futsal Roos builds a play through their captain on the halfway line. Now they introduce again Giovanni Wade, who's always a threat whenever he's on. Go for a younger squad. And this is part of the development that interim coach Dixon Kadau is leading. But for Australia, they are gearing up for the Asian. Sammy on his what he conceived as a pass back, or he tries to let the ball goes back to Anthony Talo. Almost cost him there. And now Rafael. And in the game of futsal, these little patches, they tells you the story. And a loss of concentration perhaps. Alvin Ho now defend well. Captain for Australia, haven't gone out for a substitution yet. As one of the top players here, and especially this one here, Giovanni Wade. Tries to find Dandan, couldn't do so. It's 2 against 2. Good take here by Alvin Ho. Excellent. Going for a space here, going for a shot. Rebounded off. The crowd was left jumping, thought it was a goal, and Australia again escape a near goal, and they build up. Rafael Leai. Again, good ball here from the Futsal Roos team. Solomon Islands need to be more organized in blocking the passing lines. But it's for the Australia Futsal Roos. They know what they're doing, and which open up the front defense line. And they are capitalizing on this occasion. Jones Ryan finds the captain again. 10, Juvenile wide. Check. Not a good pass by Patti. Intercepted by the captain. And the Australian captain decides to go for a breather. Futsal Roos building a play. Doing circles now. And changing direction, momentum. A little bit of figure 8 and static play here. But they try to do their rotations really well. And their target man is making all the moves here. Solomon Islands more composed with a zone defense and slowly creeping up. Try to capitalize on all. And now steals the ball. Not a good pass by him. Australia now on the counter attack. 3 against 2. They're going for a shot and a goal. Great. Odishi's ball into the Australian defense. Couldn't do so. We're 15 minutes into the game. 5 more minutes and we will see a halftime break. But it's Australia Futsal Roos leading 2-0. Solomon Islands Kurkuru lineup, very focused, this young man. And I've mentioned earlier on that the Futsal Roos will. This is what I was talking about. Brilliant player. Solomon Islands 1, Australia 2. Game on. Australia again back to almost an. Alvin Ho tries to squeeze in this one here, couldn't do so. Breaks here and still open up in terms of such opportunities like this to have the Futsal Roos here here in Honiara, Solomon Islands. Build a play here. Anthony Talo just decides to say play off. He's already had 3 fouls, probably 4 already. They just need 2 more to get a 10-meter penalty. While Futsal Roos also know they need to manage themselves. Going into the second half is important. And this man here, Giovanni Wade, make few reference on Charlie Otenau as one of the Solomon Islands top players, and rightfully so. Oh, good. Tries to from the kickoff. Rafael now collects the ball, brings it to Junior Sam, tries to go past one. Not a good first touch here. Rafael chases down the ball, tries to win it back, managed to. Quite a refreshing team here, the Kurkuru team. Unlike previous team, they usually keep majority of their starting five. This team decides to make a change where they introduce a lot of their new players here. So good to have such a break or a refreshed look at Kurukuru's side. And they wide, who has been excellent when it comes to controlling the ball, the number 6 for Futsal Roos. But this man here, see, got even some skills over his sleeves. The number 8 now is one player that you definitely need to put as much pressure on him. Otherwise, he creates goal out of nothing. And deservedly well too. He's a very outstanding player. And we're enjoying the game so far. Kurukuru again, early pressure here from Australia. He realized that he did push it too hard and probably should have opted to go back and start from Alvin Ho. Again, Australia, 2 players up front. Solomon Islands need to track these players on free and a shot. 5 currently on the court now. The number 11, Ethan, he's now with the ball here. Goes across to Jamie, tries to find the escaper. Back to Ethan. Beats Raphael on the process. Again, goes past Charlie Ote now and tries to. And also featured in the World Cup qualifiers for the associated football. So he's a man with experience and definitely a right player to have in your squad as drafted by Dixon Kadau. This is a foul here. And speaking of the crowd, good to see a lot of mixture here. Local Solomon Islanders coming in numbers, especially in the second half. Probably many have work to do in the early evening part of the day. Futsal Roos, who is well versed now, especially with an experience in the first half against Rafael Le'ai, probably knows what this play is capable of. And again, Australia builds a play for an early shot here. Still ball in play. Now it's going out of intensity here, not by players, but by supporters as well. You can tell deep inside they want a result for a win here. Oh, a roll here from Grant, the Solomon Islands keeper. And interestingly, Jeffrey Bully has a younger brother who used to play for Kurukuru, who was very skillful. Dixon Ramo, who no longer plays now, is a tradesman by profession. And by the veteran skipper, Jeffrey Bull, who, to be honest, is in perfect shape compared to previous tournament where he came on the Kurukuru team. Good block here now. Alvin Ho raises up, tries to go past Juvenali Wade. We're 5 minutes into the second half, and Australia leading 2-1. Solomon Islands still trailing, but they look more like a team that might concede here because Australia is getting into their mood, their rhythm. And speaking of rhythm, here's one player. You don't want him to have the ball. Jamie Dib. He can create something out of nothing. Sweden Ahmed tries to fool, knows really well the capabilities of this man wearing the number 3, the iconic Elite Ragomos number. Misitana now is being introduced in the court. Solomon Islands chasing 2 Futsal Roos player. Good rotation here by the Australian side. They look more composed here. Now they're playing static, changing almost into a figure 8. Back to the traditional diamond formation. It's into the second half. Australia leading 1-2. They are 2 goals, Solomon Islands on 1. So a goal difference. That's all that stood in the way. Australia build a play from their own half. Goes for a traditional static game. Not a great longer than all of the players, probably because he's the fixer here. He's the one pulling the strings. But can he pull that deadly string which will result in a goal? That's the question they will be asking for Australia. They are banking on this number 14, Jamie Dib. Oh, close one here by the Australian. Close, almost conceding another goal here. And in such time, another goal would definitely cause more pressure getting back into the game. Kurukuru again tries to win the ball here. 2 against 1. It's 1 against 3 defenders. Patti. And I think this is going to be looking to be on fire here. This number 7 for Solomon Islands, Rafael. Again, futsal roos, build up play. They're leading 2-1. Try to get one more here, and they could definitely control the game a little bit more. But for now, it's all sport for making this possible. Again, I have to mention Pacific All Sport for their awesome opportunity created here. The local fans are now enjoying such international friendly. As we dive back into it, it's Australia Futsal Roos building a play deep inside Solomon Islands half. Rafael marking well. Futsal Roos also taking a step up with their tempo. Solomon Islands can capitalize here. Not a good. The goalkeeper comes back on. He's feeling well now. He's a veteran goalkeeper. He knows really well Solomon Islands is like. And speaking of what they are like, Australia tries to go past one, couldn't do so. Australia capitalizes on this one, wins back ball. Alvin Ho probably got injured on this occasion. And he's not too here by Alvin, tries to find Rafael, couldn't do so. I guess Stills tries to go back to Rafael, couldn't do so. It's the captain of the Futsal Roos now bringing play in. This is very dangerous from Cookstown, by the way. So a local community down in Honiara, well known for producing some of the best footballers like Gagame Feni, Brian Feni, Batram Suri. If you know football in Solomon Islands, those names are the household names. Oh, good tenure by Australia again. The number 5 going for a shot here, blocked by Anthony Talo. Saves again. Long one here from Solomon Islands. Alvin Ho. It's 3 players now. Misitana and his teammates from Matax. Elismana closes down. Oh, a little bit of slip there by. We're 12 minutes into the game. Australia 2, Solomon Islands 1. Intense match for a first game of the series. If you definitely miss out on this one and you want to join the fun, yeah. And courtesy thanks to Australian government with Pacific All Sport for enabling such evening. And mind you, I might get a barbecue next weekend or next match here just to enjoy this view here and enjoy such quality futsal here. Well, speaking of quality futsal, that's the man with the ball here, the number 5, Guerreiro Jordan. He's been brilliant, this player. Futsal Roos in control of the game. Speaking of brilliancy, that almost finally, you can tell by the way he moves on the court. He's a product of futsal, but now he's also played to the task. Is his replacement, Rogan, now with the ball, the number 7 for Futsal Roos. Drives it in, back to Jamie Dibb, back to Rogan, back to Jamie Dibb. Good combination here by Rogan and Jamie. But Solomon Islands closely pressing the game. Not a good ball here by the goalkeeper for Solomon Islands. Rafael tries to go past one, couldn't do so. Australia now counter-attack. Goes find Rogan, decides to go long, back to Anthony Talo. Solomon Islands need to watch the defense really well. This Australian Futsal Roos very good at their transition and probably one of their key elements or their strength to this team here. Rogan on the far side, goes Billy to beat. Good defending by Billy Afi, the new result here. But speaking of result, to have a scoreline of 2-1 is an excellent result. And Alvin Ho probably tried to just nutmeg the number 2 for, well, not number 2 actually, number 12 I would say, probably. I have to check. Number 2 actually, Ghana Taylor of Futsal Roos. Now Rogan with the ball, goes back to Jamie Deeb. Combination play there. Again, Ghana equally attempting to it is Rafael Leai. Dominic, very experienced goalkeeper. Now he's with the ball here. Continues to give instruction to his team. Ethan being introduced again. The captain now back on the court for quite some time now. I haven't seen him back here. He's back on the court now. Ethan. Ellis Mana to beat. Managed to do so. Brilliant ball. Oh, late. They need against such opponents like Australia who have been in the game of futsal for longer than the Solomon Islands. Here by Solomon Kurukuru. Futsal Roos knows really well they are leading by a slim lead. If they could get one more here, they could definitely put the game out. What's at stake? Futsal Roos build-up play through Ethan. Finds Dominic. Back to Ethan. Ethan tries to find the skipper here. Not so handy. Now it all comes down to the officials. Whenever they will signal the end. Alvin Ho tries to get the ball here. Get the ball here. And the number 9 for Australia, Grant, who has caused a lot of problems for Alvin Ho with a more bigger physical side to him compared to Alvin. Now Solomon Islands stepping up. Pressure here. Alvin Ho tries to win the ball back. Managed to do so. It's Sami here. There's only one player. Known by the names as Futsal Roos and Kurukuru. The Solomon Islands Kurukuru is a bird. Well native to the western side of Solomon Islands. And they have been flying in the Pacific for quite some time now. Oh, good block here by Alvin Ho. Australian Futsal Roos knows really well to take time as much as possible because they have only a few seconds before game end here. Grant goes back to Daniel. Daniel checks. Grant's open up space here. Ote now saves well. Giovanni Wade to the dangerous man, Guerrero Jordan. Alvin Ho almost wins the ball out for Solomon Islands. Futsal Roos putting more of the attack here. Samkiri pressure up here from Solomon Islands. Could definitely set up things for the next match. But can Futsal Roos tries to find Samikiri, couldn't get it to the end of the ball. And Solomon Islands again tries to win the ball, couldn't do so. Australia still with the ball here. Futsal Roos builds up play. Giovanni Wade keeps play on the back. Is the number 5. Guerrero Jordan. Giovanni Wade to Daniel. Checks. Decides to go back to Wade. Wade to Jordan. Jordan to Grant. Jordan comes and check. Grant stand, tries to beat Alvin Ho. Tries to go through the defense line. Probably not the best option here. Cleared by Alvin again. Waiting on the official to finish the game whenever he sees shooting. But what I encounter here, Australia 2 goals. 1 building play again. Goes past 1, tries to find Charlie Ote now. Couldn't do so. It's Australia finding more pressure here. Solomon cuts the goalkeeper off guard. Couldn't do so. And Australia Futsal Roos, they know really well. They just need to manage time here. And so far, the Solomon Islands are trying to get 1 goal here just to give the fans a little bit of extra something to take home, I would say. A draw here would be like having a barbecue and going back home with it. Squeezed inside their own. Finds Charlie Otena, tries to 10, couldn't do so. Rogan for Australia Futsal Roos, the number 11, Ethan. Finds Jamie. Not a good ball by Jayan. And not a good play here by Bule. Futsal Roos now in possession of the ball. Intensity has never decreased in this match. They've maintained it. And there you go, the final whistle.